Well, good day, folks. Thanks for joining me. Very briefly, we've got a wonderful presentation here by one of the young up-and-coming former alumni of Royal Roads University, Karan Wadhwani, who's going to chat with us. Karan, tell us a little bit about yourself, very briefly.
Yeah, thank you, and awesome to have this chat. So, T- Terry, as you mentioned, I'm a commerce graduate, went to Royal Roads. Before that, dived into the hotel management scene a bit. So I'm a big foodie. Prior to that, I actually moved to Canada in 2001 from Africa, West Africa in particular, Lagos, Nigeria, which is going to be hitting about 40 million people soon. And now I'm based in Victoria Island, so a lot smaller space, and I've been here for about 5 years. I've worked in a variety of industries, but now focusing more on my articles and written work on technology and information.
That's what caught my attention was the technology. Did you say Nigeria?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nigeria, biggest nations in Africa, 185 million, and coming on strong. Going to be
mhm.
the way it's breaking out. So well done. You got some good roots there. Let's push on if we can. Um, this article caught my eye, the idea of predictive technology getting to know you. And in there, we're all concerned about our growing loss of civil liberties and the lack of privacy, and the bright, shiny things attract us and we freely give all this data out. And you write this article about predictive technology. What's that all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Terry, I think everything is patterns, right? From the minute you wake up till you go to bed. And we are constantly, as you mentioned, giving our information knowingly or not knowingly. And we kind of have to in this day and age if we want to be able to use tech. So to me, predictive technology is companies, systems, organizations, governments knowing about you and being able to use that information to then find future insights, but also know your thought patterns, know your movements, know where and what you're going to be doing next to not only sometimes make it efficient for yourself, but also for the betterment of that company or organization.
Yeah, thank you for that. And it's not just the government. My concern is the unofficial folks are taking commanding heights that work with government, the Googles, the Twitters, etc. For maybe for another day, but certainly there's lots of reasons that we should have our guard up going through this. In fact, it's said that if you don't know what the product is, in fact, then you're the product. If you don't understand what's being sold, as we do it. You talk in your paper about the good side and the dark side. The dark side of all this. So I see the good side, all these wonderful things that can make us our lives better, smart housing, etc.
Mhm.
The dark side, you talk about this manipulation, etc. What's that about?
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think that there's obviously the good and bad to everything. So the dark side is more in regards to the privacy. It's more in regards to the extortion. We have so many technologies, cameras, things that you buy off the shelf at your local Costco or Walmart that actually are able to use extra power from your home or are able to then use and share your information that's being recorded with the World Wide Web. And a lot of times we don't know. We don't know the dark side. We don't know what the technology is being used for. We don't know that our information is being used directly back at us and back at us in a way where it can actually again predict your patterns, predict who you are, and then push you with content and with information that will be able to benefit the company or organization.
Fair enough. In fact, a quick story is that I'm in the process of adopting a 5-year-old. Netflix. He watches an awful lot of these funny little cartoons and shows. Netflix, of course, and I says, Terry, here's what you want to watch. And what I want to watch is festooned with bunnies and rabbits and things. And there's no real stories in there for me because I don't have much time to watch it during the day. So right, and transparency is so important. You also mentioned in your article the aspect of something sinister is afoot, this idea of a digital conductor. What's that mean?
Yeah, so I actually reference towards Spotify. I'm a big music fan. I do a bit of improv, do some comedy. I like to use this instrument or body. So Spotify and a lot of companies today are able to not only predict your behavior, but conduct it in a certain way. So I speak to how with Spotify and how they revolutionized the music industry, they're able to now not only, yes, I agree, provide you a lot more musical options, but they're able to then base your options on your certain emotions and moods. So if every year on my birthday I love In the Club by 50 Cent, they will know that next year again to push that ad directly to me. And so I dive into the fact that, okay, you have this technology company that is able to make musical options more efficient for you and be able to provide you music based on what you l- like in the past, but then it's also capturing your attention. And today, the more time we spend looking at those screens right down at your phone, some people even say the F logo on Facebook is a human being looking down. That you just have to be aware. You have to be aware of how much time you're spending on it. You have to be aware on how it might be changing your mood, your behavior, and again your patterns and what you're doing in your everyday life.
Love it. In fact, as an aside, I took a moment to watch some of your club videos on YouTube. You got
Okay.
humor. You're describing your name and how it's pronounced, et cetera, et cetera. And so I laughed at them. So well done. I guess I want to keep moving quickly through these. The article speaks for itself. I think the final thing I want to talk a bit about is all this data coming together. You talk about machine learning and spreadsheets and knowing all. Are we concerned we're going to be replaced by, but with quantum computers and artificial intelligence and the speed of all this singularity, I think there's a growing concern that we're going to be replaced by computers because of this database and information they have. Is that what you see?
You know, Terry, I think we've been all worried about disruptive technologies for a long time. Yes, jobs will go, l- lawyers, accountants, all these things can be automated. Emails today, even as I type on my Google Mail, it's able to predict exactly my thought patterns and give me the options of what I want to say. Um, I definitely agree. I think there will be a big change in the economy in terms of what jobs will be out there. But I think the one thing that we cannot lose is human empathy and the ability for human beings to still empathize with humans on a natural level. And we've all watched I Robot. So yes, we're all getting more technological integration into us, whether that's IBM making an actual uh, technology chip that can be implanted in your brain, or whether that's articles on certain countries building artificial human beings, or in Japan, the first ever individual to get married to a robot. So there's a lot in that sphere. I will definitely dive into that a little bit more in some future articles. But I think the big thing is we have to be cautious of those industries where we still need that human interaction.
We say the
Um,
same
and
things. We say the
yes,
same things. The thumbs, and we've got an article up in the education part of our blog here about where the jobs are going to be. In fact, the observation that 80% of the jobs that will be available by 2030, just out in front of us by 8 years, 80% of the job descriptions haven't even been written yet. And so it's going to be great transformation, disruption, getting ready for that. But all those points you mentioned about empathy, et cetera, those are the key attributes for success these days. And so thank you for that. Well, I certainly have enjoyed your conversation. I look forward to more articles from you. Certainly articles such as this are going to make this blog a success. Before I close, I want to point out to our readers today that there'll be links at the bottom of your article if they want to get in touch with you, and you'll respond to them directly if they have further questions arising like that. And look forward to new articles coming out. I'm going to ask you folks there that if you enjoyed the stuff here today, let's push this young man along, and as an ex-Royal Road alumni member, let's hit the subscribe button and wish him well. Grant, thank you very much for your efforts today. More articles to come. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Awesome, Jay. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Done. We can cut it off there.
Yes.
I go up here and cut the